Welcome back to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'll be covering Marvel Superheroes featuring the Incredible Hulk number 80, a reprint published in 1979. We have an amazing cover here by perhaps my favorite artist, comic artist of all time, Herb Trimpe. This is a cover in an issue that I had as a kid growing up, and it just always captivated me. The colors, the Avengers on the cover, Goliath smashing down through the earth, the Hulk, the menacing form of the Hulk beneath the earth. And I am a sucker for covers with word balloons on them. And this one has a couple of good ones. Goliath says, "He's right below us. We found the Hulk." And Hulk says, "No place to run, so I stand and fight." And then we have the blurb, Marvel's TV sensation, because this was the time when Lou Ferrigno was portraying the Hulk on broadcast television. And then our tagline, "The Green Gargantuan battles the mighty Avengers." Great issue. Let's just get into it. Again, love this cover, love it to death. And let's move on. Real quick, before I get too far into it, I have my handy here, my Incredible Hulk Epic Collection. This is volume 4, which also reprints this issue, so we can see the difference here in the two covers. Obviously, the modern Sal Buscema corner piece versus the original Trimpe corner piece there, and our difference in cover price, 15 cents versus 40 cents for the reprint. And there's a difference in the vibrancy of the colors as well. It's neat to see these two things. And there's one other thing I'm going to point out here after we get through our splash page, comparing these two. And then we'll just stick with our reprint, which I did get for in a dollar bin, which, again, if you ever see these Marvel Superheroes reprints in dollar bins, I can't urge you enough to pick them up. The dollar you spend is well worth it because these stories are phenomenal. All right, so our creative team, Stan Lee is our editor, Roy Thomas is the writer, Herb Trimpe is the artist, Sam Rosen is the letterer, colorist uncredited, I'm guessing it was Marie Severin. This original story was published in 1970. By that time, she had joined the Marvel bullpen and was doing lots of pre- and post-production work for Marvel, and is an accomplished artist all her own. And she did a lot of coloring for Marvel, so I'm guessing it might have been her. So we have our title, and in this corner, the Avengers, and a very cool splash page of a menacing Hulk moving through some catacombs here, obviously underground. Cool like lizard in the background there, scurrying out of the way. "Let the ground tremble, let the earth shake, for through the night dark caverns which honeycomb the earth's crust, there strides the most powerful behemoth of all, the Hulk." And Hulk says to himself, he's raging, "More man won't follow Hulk. Tyrannus won't follow Hulk. If they do, Hulk will smash them, just like he did their armies. Just like he'll smash his way out from under these rocks. Hulk is the strongest there is." So, real quick before we move on, Trimpe generally had an inker on his long Hulk run. But in a few issues, he did everything. And when he inks his own pencils, he's even more phenomenal. I love some of the inkers he was paired with over the years, but I really like Trimpe inking Trimpe. It's great. So we turn the page here, and we see with the scene shifting to a government installation, which we're going to get to here, or a military base. But before we do, one sort of note about these reprints. So when they did this reprint title, the pagination, the page count of the books had changed and shifted. So they had to actually cut pages from the original story to get these reprints to fit in the new format. So we have our splash page, just as we did in this issue. We can see our two splash pages here. But when we turn the page here, we're at our military installation. But when we turn the page here, we actually have an additional page that had to be cut from this one. And luckily in my Epic collection, it's preserved, so I'll briefly read it and then I'll switch back to our reprint. "What's more, Hulk doesn't like it down here anymore. Hulk wants out. and nothing will stop Hulk from getting back to the surface. Nothing. So his incredible power here, he's trying to climb out, and he's just causing more havoc underground. Yet so dim is the Hulk's beclouded brain, so confused are the half-human thoughts beneath his savage brow, that he does not even realize that his own brute strength is causing the mammoth landslides which menace his every step. Nor does he guess that he may soon be the unknowing author of his own doom and the doom of countless others. Rocks fell from up above, but no sunlight comes through. Then Hulk hasn't found the way out, not yet. But he will find the path, because he never gets tired, and when he does, Hulk will smash his way out, no matter what. So that was our cut page. Some great sequence there of the Hulk's futility in trying to escape from the underground realm. Back to our reprint from our splash page, that cut page to this next page. And you can kind of see why they were able to cut that from the story. It's not vital, although it does communicate some urgency of what we're going to be dealing with here as the story goes along. So let me read this caption. And at the precise instant, at a heavily guarded military base, hundreds of feet above and hundreds of miles away. The seismo recorder leaves no doubt, General Ross. Not the slightest iota. Those vibrations we've been recording can only come from the Hulk. Let me see that report, soldier. Thunderation! If this oversized hunk of bolts is right, the Hulk is heading straight for the San Andreas Fault. Don't excite yourself, sir. Remember your condition. Hang my condition, and the next man who mentions it. If that green-skinned galoot goes stomping through the fault, he's going to start the biggest quake since Frisco. Now, don't bother me. I've got to think of something. Got to do something. So they're debating. You can see Glenn Talbot there is debating what to do, and Ross gets an idea. Well, of course, that's what we've got to do, Talbot. The only question is how. Meanwhile, get that Gamatron bombardier ready, just in case the Gamatron bombardier ready. Just in case we get the chance to use it on him. Yes, sir. I've had it outfitted to a special copter, sir, just as you ordered. So Talbot rushes away to get it ready. And Ross says to Betty, his daughter, who's here, I've got someone on the way here who may just be able to get to the Hulk. And they'd better, or a big hunk of real estate's just liable to slide off into the ocean. But who, Father? Who could reach the Hulk while he's deep inside the earth? Just let me worry about that, Betty. So here. Now, if we can stop him by this point, he's pointing to a map. Pay attention, daughter. Blast it. And as he's getting exasperated with Betty, suddenly a wind whips through the room that they're in. Hey, what in the name of glory? It's like some blasted hurricane just blew up right in the middle of the room. Father, there's someone in the room for us. Someone who's running as fast as light itself. Hardly that, miss, but merely swiftly enough to blur the light waves which pass through me. So we have the entrance of Quicksilver, the Avenger, the Mutant Avenger, ex-member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Still, I've created an obvious disturbance, and I didn't mean to. Allow me to redeem myself by scooping up these papers which I scattered. My name is Pietro, or Quicksilver, of the Avengers. You sent for us, I believe? I radioed for the Avengers, all right, but I didn't expect some flashy pup like you to show up. Where's Thor, or Iron Man, or Captain America? So that's going to be a theme that runs through this story. Ross wanted the A-list Avengers, but instead he gets a different team, the team which we saw pictured on our cover, and we're going to see throughout this issue. In one of my personal favorite Avengers configurations of all time, just a really cool mix, a quintet of Avengers here. We see the Vision coming through the wall, further shocking Ross into saying, I know, girl, I know, but blast it, the future of the West Coast hangs in the balance. I thought at least that long-haired Thunder God would show up, or, now, who in Thunderation? And the rest of the Avengers make their entrance. The Vision says, General Ross, may I introduce the Scarlet Witch, the Black Panther, and a somewhat oversized gentleman called Goliath. There are those who have called us the Mighty Avengers. And we are mighty, General, though perhaps not quite so much as those you named before. Speak for yourself, lady. This Man Mountain's been waiting for a chance to Indian wrestle old Greenskin for a long time now. So this is the Goliath who was Hawkeye. It's Clint Barton, not Hank Pym. So he's got a little bit more sass, none of the real science background that Hank Pym had as Goliath and Giant Man. But he does have a pretty cool costume and a good attitude. Black Panther says, "We have merely assumed, sir, that your summons concerns the Hulk. It said only that it was a matter of life and death. In which case, we'd best get down to business." By all means, Avengers. So here, Ross explains to the Avengers that the Hulk is inexorably drawing toward the San Andreas Fault, and if he would strike the fault, his incredible strength and rage-induced power could cause a massive earthquake. Meanwhile, the Avengers recount that the Hulk was once a member of theirs, although briefly, and they even suggest that maybe they might want him to join up again to increase their power. So you see, we've got two reasons to hogtie that green-skinned galoot: for his own sake, and so we can maybe add some more muscle to our team. You've got a far more important reason than either of those, fella. You've got a whole state to save, blast it. An entire state? I fail to see what you... Wait, Pietro, it's all crystal clear now. Look at the map, at the Hulk's random path. At his present rate of speed, he'll intersect with the San Andreas Fault within mere hours, and when he does, no mortal can calculate the result. Black Panther lays it all out. So, the Avengers have got to intercept the Hulk underground somehow. That's it in a nutshell, son. I thought perhaps the Hulk's old allies could stop him, but now... Father, you know how you mustn't get too excited. How can I help it, girl? With what's at stake? The Vision replies, the Avengers will help you, General. We shall halt the Green Behemoth's advance. Or we shall die trying, the brash Pietro says. And I assure you, General, that is not idle rhetoric. Now the time has come for action, the Panther says. So this next panel is awesome. And Trimpe is a masterful designer of gadgets and tech. That's why he was so good on the G.I. Joe comics he did, why he was great in the Godzilla comics he did, when their military was fighting Godzilla with all their gadgets and S.H.I.E.L.D. was using all their gadgets. He's just really good with vehicles, tech, hardware, but also awesome at drawing super heroic action. And so just phenomenal talent. And we do miss him dearly since he passed away some years ago. Here we have this awesome shot of the Avengers in this cool, looks like an early version of an Osprey military aircraft. Thus, mere minutes later, a sleek, hypermodern aircraft slices through the southwestern skies. I know you Avengers came in a go buggy even faster than this one, but you may need the Gamatron device that's aboard if we can ever reach the Hulk with it. There is still ample time, General, to do what must be done, if only we have the strength and stamina enough to do it. I'm assuming that was the Panther, although it's not totally clear. So there's a great scene of them setting up the Gamatron bombarder, and Scarlet Witch is atop the one side shouting some instructions. Careful, Goliath. That unit must be lined up precisely opposite this one. When I need a female's advice, I'll send up a smoke signal. Just the same, I'll jimmy it a little to the left if it'll keep you happy. So a great repartee between the two characters. And you see in the background, Quicksilver streaking here, Vision helping Goliath lift it, Panther doing some technical stuff because he is the science expert on this team. Meanwhile, Goliath shrinks a bit. That's as good as it's going to get. Now I'll tell him about that Gamatron gizmo, Talbot. Yes, sir. Just a second, soldier. First, let me do the shrinking bit, so at least I'm within earshot. So here's the main goal of the piece here. If we can lure the Hulk directly between these two electrodes, their combined power should hold him riveted to the spot long enough for their gamma radiation to turn him back to Bruce Banner. There's only one catch, or there's only one slight catch, huh? First, you got to pinpoint old J-Jaws while he's stomping his way across the Great Divide. So here, the Hulk is once more in these caverns, raging at his predicament, but still determined to get out. Nothing will stop the Hulk from getting out of here. Great house ad for Marvel posters. Again, I always say online on any forums or whatever I'm posting on, when these house ads come up, I wish Marvel would do an epic collection or an epic style collection of all of their house ads, and I just think it would be a really great historical and art artifact, and I would definitely buy it. So here, Hulk rages, strikes the ground, and they can tell he's close because above they can feel it. What in blazes? The ground's shaking, like the quake's already begun. We didn't have to find the Hulk. No, he found us, Goliath says. Rocks falling all around Hulk, but they can't hurt him. Nothing can hurt the Hulk. He'll keep smashing, keep hitting, till he is free. And here, awesome shot of the Panther crouching down, using his preternatural senses and technology to listen. That must be the Hulk. It has to be. A moment before the tremor, your apparatus detected a moving form below us. But the machine was fragile, and that tremor destroyed it. Once the Hulk moves on, we won't be able to track him again. Very neat story device by Roy Thomas here to create a little bit of urgency. Meanwhile, the Hulk's still underground. Think, Hulk, think. Why is it always so hard for you to think? Should you try to break out here or keep going? Which one, Hulk? So they've got to make a fateful decision back up on the surface. Whatever the Hulk is doing down there, we can be certain that he won't remain static for long. The time has come to strike and lure him to the surface. You're talking through your hat, mister. There's not one of you who has the sheer power to dig down to the Hulk now, and you know it, Ross says frustratedly. The general's right. We're licked, and we might as well admit it, Talbot also adds. But the Vision speaks up. You speak thus, gentlemen, only because you do not fully understand my android powers. My walking through walls may have seemed a bit theatrical to you, but he who can pass through a wall can also pass through solid rock. Of course, Ross says. I've been a blasted fool. All right, Avengers, from here on, it's your show. So Pietro points out, and so we may, General, with the aid of the Army's Gamatron device. Come, Goliath, we must readjust the electrodes in case the tremor unbalanced them, for soon we shall have one chance, and one only, to capture the Hulk. And now, my friends, without further ado, the Vision says as he sinks into the ground, the Vision must finally come face to face with the Hulk. So this is their first meeting, which is kind of cool. And this panel, this awesome long panel here, I do love these. Loved it years later when Paul Smith made them so famous, but man, here's Trimpe doing it in 1970, and it is totally awesome. He sank right into the ground before our very eyes. The Vision controls utterly the mass of his own body, General, the Panther says. Actually, that was Quicksilver. Still, he has never before encountered the Hulk. I wonder, will his inhuman powers be enough to protect him? So we can see the Vision here, and in this cool cutaway, we see the Hulk. He's just about to move on. Hulk has made up his mind. He will go on until he finds the way out of here. Then, why does Hulk keep staring at roof of cave? Like there was danger above, someone coming this way to attack him. So the Hulk almost has a preternatural sense of danger coming, and suddenly it arrives in the Vision. Perhaps no ordinary man may reach you now, Hulk, but the Vision is not an ordinary man. What? Hulk is not alone? And here we see the Black Panther again, festooned with technological listening devices. He's picking up on the fact that the Vision has found the Hulk. We've got to stop the Hulk here, or, General Ross says. Do not say it, General, the Panther interrupts. The alternative is too gruesome, too horrible to contemplate. So here on this next page, while in the dark canyons below, illumined only by artificially placed strips of dim phosphorus, a battle royal begins. You, our enemy, tried to sneak up on Hulk, but Hulk will beat you. Hulk can beat anyone. Perhaps anyone you can touch, fool. But have you ever before fought a ghost? So Hulk goes right through him, and doesn't have any effect on him, obviously, because Vision has lowered his density. Great panel here where Hulk is recovered from his leap and he grabs this stalactite and rips it from the ground. Hulk went right through you, like you weren't really there. But you are there. Hulk can see you, and Hulk will smash you. Don't you realize, monster, that your strength is useless against me? Maybe, and maybe not. Great panel here. Watoom. Awesome sound effect there by our letterer, Sam Rosen. And I should mention that, too, the Sam Rosen's letters in this issue are just spot on, perfectly placed balloons in clear classic lettering. So the Vision, when the dust clears, Vision is still there. I simply became as hard as diamond to show you the full powers of the one you face. Hard as diamond. But Hulk can crush diamond, crush it into powder. Undoubtedly true enough, Hulk. Still, it requires only the concentration of a few fateful seconds for the Vision to become once more the intangible phantom and vanish where no man may follow. So Vision is smart here. He's not taunting Hulk just because he wants to taunt him. He's got to get the Hulk to follow him. And the only way to do that is to get the Hulk mad enough so that he's strong enough to plow through these hundreds and hundreds of feet of solid earth to reach the surface where he can be corralled by the rest of the Avengers. And the Vision succeeds in his ploy as the Hulk leaps forward to follow him. But Hulk can follow anyone, anywhere. Great shot of him just smashing through the earth as he's plowing up toward him, and then burrowing, tunneling, hammering his way surfaceward after the fleeing Vision. The Hulk soon beholds that which he had longed for, the light of day. Down there, I couldn't judge precisely where the Gamatron stood, yet at least I led the green behemoth here. More costume ones, like the Fantastic Four. Then it was a trap. But one leap, and Hulk will be out of the trap. But this awesome panel here, really, as a kid, it just captivated me. This idea of Goliath bracing himself between these two massive trees and the Hulk bouncing off of his giant form was just so cool. Maybe you would, Greenie, if you had a clear shot at the sky, but as it is, that hurt, but it was worth it. A giant blocking Hulk's leap? Another great ad here. Not sure who the artist is on this one. Could be Rich Buckler, but it's a great Fantastic Four cartoon TV series ad. And this was the one where they had taken out the Human Torch and replaced him with Herbie the Robot because they were afraid kids would light themselves on fire. Also, you can make money customizing cars, vans, cycles, inside and out. Cool ads. So Goliath blocks Hulk from escaping, and then Hulk uproots, looks like a number of trees here. He just grabs them and bear hugs them together, and he just hurls them at Goliath, just in a display of raw power that Goliath can't match. Not just any giant gruesome, one of the mighty Avengers. The Avengers, Hulk has heard that name before, but don't remember when or where. Hulk doesn't listen to the talk of enemies. He hits him with a whole stand of trees and then does an awesome flying mule kick into Goliath's jaw. We're not your enemies, you ugly hunk of spinach. We just want to talk to. Arr! You try to fool Hulk with words, just like all the others, but Hulk knows how to shut you up. And then he lands and takes a wide slap at T'Challa and Quicksilver. Goliath is down. It's up to us now. At least we diverted him away from the San Andreas fault. But that's only the beginning, Ross adds. Avengers, and you know it. For his own sake and for humanity's, the Hulk must be captured. So the Avengers together rally, and we can see Goliath holding his head sore from that hit that he took. You don't have to tell this joker, pal. I'm going to have a swelled up jaw to remind me. Then come, all of you, and give the cry. Avengers, assemble! And this page is awesome, with the 5 of them surrounding the Hulk, battling him each in their own way. And really great secondary, almost like a secondary splash page again in this book. Then as the 2 military men can only stand in stupefied awe, the mighty Avengers attack. 5 superpowered stalwarts armed with abilities far beyond those of other men, battling for the first time as a close-knit fighting team. Their reluctant target, the terrifying yet tortured Titan, whom a fearful mankind has named the Incredible Hulk. So Goliath exclaims, "Holy crow, he's stronger than all of us put together. We got to keep him off balance till we can figure out a way to stomp him." The Scarlet Witch is thinking, "Nor shall they, if they rely upon the help of the Scarlet Witch. The awesome Archon told me that my powers were restored when I crossed the great barrier between our worlds." And this is referring to a story in Avengers 76 when she was kidnapped by Archon. "Yet I gesture as always in past, and nothing happens. Is my hex power forever vanished?" So meanwhile, the Hulk is grabbing this nearby helicopter, and he's actually using the whirring blades of the chopper to blow the Avengers back. And the Scarlet Witch decides to redouble her efforts to cast a hex. "Perhaps if I extended both hands. Wait, something is happening now. I can feel it." Glowing circle around Hulk. What? She causes with her mutant hex ability, she causes the helicopters to explode, stunning the Hulk. "What went wrong?" Hulk doesn't know. And Goliath swats him. "We'll spell it out for you, little man, after you and me settle a little score between us." "Well, what are you waiting for, ugly? I cut myself down to 10 feet just for the occasion. Scared?" "Hulk isn't scared of you, not scared of anyone." So Goliath's got a lot of courage here for this ploy, because he's only as strong as he is tall. So if he cut himself down to 10 feet, he's not really that much stronger than Black Panther at this point. So if the Hulk hits him at this size, he's going to make mush out of him. And the Hulk says, "Again, you make fun of Hulk, mock Hulk, but you do it for the last time." You can see he's here, and the two sides of the Gamatron Bombarder are here. So he's just trying to lure Hulk in between. But then he's thinking to himself, he ain't just whistling Dixie. I wasn't in that baby's class when I was twice as big as I am now. If he rips into me at just 10 feet, I've had it. But great panel here. We can see the Hulk is lined up. Just a moment longer, the Panther thinks. A single step farther. And zack! They blast him from both sides with the Gamatron Bombarder. "You got him, Panther. The Hulk is trapped," Scarlet Witch exclaims. "Yes, Wanda. Even his matchless strength should be helpless against those beams of the gamma energy." "Look, he's down on one knee. Within seconds, the rays should change him back to Bruce Banner. Then we'll have won." All right. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Don't look now, lady, but I got a hunch that mentioning Bruce Banner was a no-no. Banner! Hulk hates that name. Don't know why, but it drives Hulk mad. So Hulk's rage allows him to overcome the effects of the Gamma Bombarder. And in this awesome sequence of panels here, he slowly climbs to his feet and extends both of his hands in opposite directions, causing the beams to reflect back on the Bombarder, destroying it. Fatam! Boom! In this awesome explosions of green gamma energy. Ha! Rays from machine or blowing up machine. We'll get no more help from that Gamatron Bombarder. Then that means we're in for a knockdown, drag-out slugfest. Stand aside, kiddies, while Goliath does his thing. Hold, Giant. I think there shall be no fight. No. Hulk is through fighting with costumed ones. What can Hulk gain from more fighting when he just wants to be left alone? Amazing. The Gamatron didn't weaken him at all. So Hulk leaps, and when he leaps, he can leap miles. So the Avengers are not going to be able to catch him, even Pietro. But where the Incredible Hulk is concerned, even the Avengers can be mistaken. For only moments later, what's happening? Hulk feel funny. The potent gamma rays suddenly have a delayed effect. Too weak to use arms and legs to guide body through sky. Hulk is falling. So here in this amazing sequence, Hulk falls into the forest miles away. Meanwhile, yet such are the whims of fate, the inexplicable workings of a blind destiny. that all this has occurred just out of the Avengers' sight, and thus, well, we tried to corral old Greenskin, and we muffed the job. Still, we may have saved countless lives, and we proved that we could act as a team, and we shall seek out the Hulk another day. Panther replies to Pietro, "Your words have the ring of wisdom, Pietro. There is little use in searching further for the Hulk. By now, he's many miles from here." And we see, as they fly away in the background, in the foreground, Bruce Banner has now reverted from this Hulk form, and he lies unconscious. And next issue, again, the Glob. So that was our reading of Marvel Superheroes featuring the Incredible Hulk number 80. I would say probably my favorite Hulk story of all time. Just a really great story because it also features the Avengers as his foes. And Hulk has so many great monstrous foes, but it's also cool when another hero team from the Marvel Universe shows up to take him on. And this is a really great and eclectic quintet of Avengers for this story that fought him. Excellent work by Trimpe here, vintage inking himself. And these Marvel Superheroes featuring the Incredible Hulk issues can be found in dollar bins here in the Pittsburgh area, and I'm sure in your area as well. And I would encourage you to pick up as many as you can because they are awesome comics. So that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy the content. Tell your friends, and I'll bring you more again soon. This has been another episode of Scott Reads Comics.